Hey everyone, happy New Year. All right. So, if this is your first CEO days, welcome. I do not think a single person in here, this is their first CEO day. So welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. For all of our members and returning guests, I want you to welcome home. This is the place to be. This is your cozy spot and where you're going to feel support and love. What I want us to do is take this time to dream again and build desire again and start the new year off without thinking about all the things we have to do, but take a little bit of a step back and get kind of settle into a beautiful vision for your year. I know we're already like a couple days into our work week, but I want us to kind of go into this like building and dreaming phase together. We want to really think about creating our business as a way to experience life, whether that's filled with travel or connection or relationship building, or simply just doing what you love and being able to take rests and breaks. So the theme today is all about building our route, which is where we're going, building our vision, and then all the stops. And what if you didn't really understand that in the title, it's about all the places that you're going to literally pause. I want us to write dates on there and celebrate and do something good that makes our business fuel the ways that we want to live out our life. So because nobody can go all gas, no break, right? That's just not part of the human nature way of doing business. So today I want to make sure that all of you find out and plan for the restful and exciting aspects of your year. Okay, let's dive into the agenda together. So the first 15 minutes is always clearing our space. We're going to start with our brain dump. Then we're going to get into our monthly reflection. And I want us to really vision that as like, all the way back till from December CEO days, if we can remember that. We're going to go ahead and do our workshop, which you may have to do a little homework because I did mine the other day and it took me quite some time because I really wanted to settle in and get specific on like where my stops were, but we can at least do the first like 3 to 6 months together. Then we're going to go into our work sprint where you will actually get things done. And then we're going to close out our workshop today, having your plan created for January. We're not going to focus so much on, like just like uh, all the things that you feel like you need to do ticky tacky. We're really going into this dreaming, building, creating what's possible for you phase today. Before we begin, I want everyone to go ahead and plug into the chat who you are. I want us to network for a quick second. So who you are and your contact info if you feel willing to share it for anyone who wants to refer you business or connect with you. So this is a great way that you can, just really get to know one another. I know we're all going to be here cozying up on CEO days every month. So let's go ahead and take that time to plug that into the chat. And after you do that, go ahead and flip to page 3 of the workbook. If you don't have the workbook because you're visiting, I'm so excited that you're here. Follow along with a piece of paper, or you can simply purchase the downloadable digital version, whether you can edit with pen and paper or you can do it on your computer if you're more tech savvy. I find that printing it out helps me connect the brain to what I'm saying and doing, and it's fun to just get that printer to spit it out and then get into it. So when you're ready, go ahead and set your intention for today. What do you want to get out of this time together? What do you want to get out of this for yourself, for your business? And just get as specific as you can for how you want to figure out like what's your relationship to a plan. And then we're going to go ahead into the brain dump as soon as we take a minute to do this.
Sorry, Dana. Besides putting the information into the chat, what
Yep.
else do you suggest that we're doing now?
Yes. Then you're on your piece of paper, you're going to set your intention for today. Good question. So what is your intention for being here? If you want to share that in the chat, that's great. If not, go ahead and keep that on your paper. This is for you, you, you. So you know why you chose to be here today. I know I just want to be able to like prioritize the fun things that I want to do and not let work or other obligations get in the way. I want to be like, this was part of my plan to like go here or do this or, go on that little weekend trip. Because those are the things that help me get through the year. And I knew I wanted to spend this time to figure it out. Like, what is it? Where is it coming from? What is it going to do? So you have your own intentions, and I want to welcome those all to this space today. All right. And then when you are ready, I want you to go ahead and let's knock out our brain dump, my friends. This is going to feel really good to get it all out. There's a lot of pressure and I guess New Year's-ness that comes into like starting a brand new year, a brand new month, a brand new quarter. So whatever comes to mind, just pour it out. Let it be the paper's problem, not your mind anymore, right? Get it all out of your brain and put that onto this beautiful piece of paper. We're going to write that line right down the middle for those of you who don't have the workbook. Left-hand side is personal, right-hand side is business. And those of you with the workbook, I have a couple prompts, right? For your personal, it's things that are going on with your friends and family and your personal relationships that are somehow your responsibility or need to take care of things. Anything that you want to address for your free time and your hobbies. I was doing a lot with, I'm trying to read more books and kind of get better at sleep. So I have a couple things that I wrote down for fitness and reading and sleep and house projects, monthly budget, when I'm going to take down my Christmas decorations, like things like that. Silly, but they do take up space. And it's like things that you just, I don't know, you're thinking about and you want to get it down. Other things could be dentist appointments and other appointments that you need to schedule for the first of the year. Hi, Tammy, welcome.
Hi,
We
Dana.
are started. We are doing a quick brain dump. I'm not sure if you got a chance to download the workbook, but if you're following along with that, I'll go ahead and throw that in the chat. If not, you can get a piece of paper out and simply journal all the things that are on your brain, personal and business. Left-hand side personal, right-hand side business. We're just kind of dumping everything out on a piece of paper. It's just helping us clear the space. So glad to see everyone today. And then for business, some of the prompts that I was thinking of are, what did I circle here? Doing some blogs, getting my promotional schedules kind of figured out for certain things that I need to promote. Any follow-ups? Getting connection calls scheduled. I mean, man, how long has it been since the last time you tapped into your network and just said, "Hey, what's going on? How can we, collide some of our goals and smash them together, right? And work together as a team. Talk to people, build your community. That's all things that you can go and build all of these awesome campaigns and putting things out there, but without community, it's hard to push the things that you want to push if you're just the only one talking about them. Any newsletters, maybe you're recreating some pages on your website. Maybe you're clearing out your inbox, right? For the new year, you have this inbox zero goal and you just want to unsubscribe from all the places that don't mean much to you anymore. These are all great things that you can spend time in your admin, doing your budget for the year. And I'm going to stop talking, let you guys brain dump. might you be finished or wrapping up? Take a quick peek at what categories you have. And on the bottom, I want you to put like that, so what I did was I kind of circled like, you know, certain responsibilities or certain categories, whether that's like an admin or a calendar thing or a marketing thing. And on the bottom, I want you to go ahead and put what that like simple category is. So like on my personal, I put, wow, it looks like I need to spend time doing my calendar for tasks and commitments coming up. And then on my business side, it looked like I had a lot of theme for follow up and automation. Like, how do I connect with people faster? So, do you have anything that looking at your list that you can sum up or generalize that you really need to focus on? And go ahead and write that down. What is your general theme for like where are things building up, right? Where's that like most crucial thing that you probably need to set up in terms of working on getting that taken care of during our work sprint? We have about 30 seconds left, and then we're going to turn the page. If anyone wants to share anything, this has been like my biggest brain dump, I think, for January. Like I've never written down so many things. I'll show you guys. Like my page is absolutely full, like top to bottom, not a space salvaged in here.
I can share something.
Absolutely. Hello, Angela.
Hi, how is everyone? Good to see you. Um, One of the things I noticed is like, um, so I'm a nomad and I have to book my travel like a few months in advance, and it's kind of like it takes so much more time than I realized. So I need to like plan a time that's dedicated. So I'm gonna add a work block for planning the travel for like 3 months in advance, 4 months in advance, because that's like the best time. So like literally making time to plan for where I'm going to live. And then the other thing I realized is tax time is I like to have everything done by like beginning of February. So I want, and I know it always takes more time than I leave. So I want to have nice big chunks of time blocking and I want to have treats afterwards. So I'm like, what can I do for myself? Like to take myself off to a coffee shop or something that I can like make it not as painful.
That's exactly what the stops are. Is like your bigger treats, like the little treats, but they all could be like, hey, I'm taking a day to sleep and turning off my phone, right? Like whatever it is. So we're gonna get into that, but I love that you are like plotting that into part of where you're going. That's beautiful.
I
Um,
had a really fast and quick aha moment. I mean, I jumped
Ooh.
on lakes. I got caught up on another call and just started writing. And then when you were asking kind of like what buckets they fall under,
Yeah.
um, I realized that this might have actually changed my word of the year.
What? Okay, so you started with the word of the year being
So I
no,
started with my word of the year being fire,
fire. I was gonna say
which is
fire. I was
where
gonna put
where you and I reconnected because you wrote me
right.
back. We had been out of touch for a number of years and
Yeah.
had a great conversation around that. But as I'm looking at the projects and the initiatives that I've got this year, I think they all fall under the word visibility. And
Mhm.
so maybe my word then becomes visibility and fire becomes the energy
Yeah.
that fuels the focus.
Yeah.
And I've been wondering where this fire comes from because fire is an energy, it's not a thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like when I'm a career coach and people will tell me like, I want to work from home job. I'm like, that's not a type of job. That's a way we work. The type of job is you're in HR or supply chain or marketing or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that word fire bothered me and that it's not a thing,
It's a tool.
energy. It's a tool.
Yep. I
Yeah.
love this tool.
So thank you. I already in 5 minutes had an aha.
I love it. There's this little tool. It's like a little card deck called Deck of Character I used to journal on and used to pull cards and it's kind of like this fun little witchy thing I would do. And fire would be like one of the tools. So that's how I know right away. It's like characters, tools, and places. And you'd pull from each one of the little
Totally.
decks. And I'm like, it was so wonderful reading the like what that meant. And gosh, some of those things were spot on, but fire is definitely a tool, but it's a great way to feel into that and be like, okay, like what does it mean to be more fiery in the way that you want to be visible? Okay, now you have a whole prompt for yourself for the way that
Sure.
you want to go about things, which is so great to have that clarity.
Yeah, yeah, it's really quite cool. So thank you.
I wanted to welcome Sherry in. I know you just joined, my dear. So we just finished the brain dump and we are popping on over to getting clear so that you are like coming in at the right time to transition here. So getting clear on page 6, everyone. It's really difficult. It was difficult for me when I did this to think back like December. Like December was so like so far away ago, especially like beginning of December was like a whole nother month in itself. But I want you to think back to the wins and challenges. So we're going to do wins and challenges up top, and then on the bottom, we have a different set of prompts. So just make your page a crosshair. Top left column is wins, top right columns are challenges. And let's go. Let's do it. So since December, let's just call it December, what was it? December 5th was last CEO days. Um, what happened? What did you do? How did you totally knock it out of the park for yourself? And where do you feel like you kept going and didn't even pause to celebrate? We're gonna do that right now. So wins all down on your page. And you know the drill. Throw those wins in the chat. Do not let them just sit in your own little space. Get them out into the world. You're amazing. You're incredible. You're capable. You're creating possibilities here. Let us know about it. Let us clap you on for it. Clap, clap, clap. If anyone has any questions, just shout them out. We're all in an open room here. And all of our returning members, yeah, I did get rid of the little lessons learned box. You'll see that new for this year. But if you do have like generally like, hey, I totally overcame this challenge, or I'm really proud of myself for learning this lesson, you can throw those in there too. And then if you took off one day in December, like that you didn't touch your computer or your phone, put that as a win. I don't care where you are, but if you did anything to give yourself some space and just to be, put that in as a win, that you took care of your own self and you took care of things outside of your business for you. That's a win.
I was just writing down that I took it easy the last few weeks of December and got some work done, but
Yeah.
also took some time off. And I was putting that in my wins column just as you were saying that.
When I talk, it's not just to annoy the crap out of you guys, it's actually to help you. Because I can speak very much and speak a long time. But yes, I'll just throw another one out there. I had just a moment. It was just a moment, but that I was completely caught up on my projects and nobody expected anything from me. I think it lasted like 6 hours. And then I got an email. Hey, can you come and do this? Okay, there we go. But it was a really freeing moment. I don't think I have felt that since probably I started my business in 2018. And I was like, wait, I don't have somebody like waiting for me to do something. So that was a cool feeling. Mm, what else? Obviously, you were all here. It's a ginormous win for me. Like, I can do things and get people to come to something. So, did you do something, mention something, invite someone somewhere, even if it was to go out to lunch or book a connection call and somebody said yes to you? That's a win. All right. We're going to scoot on over to challenges as we're thinking about these things. Um, what's still on your list from last year that maybe we want to put down there as like, ooh, I want to say this really carefully. There's some things you need to let go and just leave it in 2024. There's other things that you're like, I really, really, really want this, but it's a challenge in how to figure out how or connect to a resource that's going to really make it possible for me. It's a challenge, but it doesn't mean it's not possible for you, right? It's just a challenge. And challenge does not mean end of the road. I want us to think of the challenge box as like it runs on to the next page to be like, all right, now I got things to like ask more questions about. You know, if you ever go somewhere and you're in a space like this and you're not asking really good questions or pushing yourself and you have accountability groups and you're not like totally pushing yourself and asking questions, you think you know what you're doing, don't hold yourself back because there's a lot of people who know different things that are just waiting to help you. So put that in as a challenge. Like we're all sitting here with totally different experiences, totally different industries. I can't even tell you how many industries are sitting in this room right now. Like we know people, we know stuff. And if you're stuck on something, mention it, put it out in the chat right now so we can help you. That's why we are here together. Not, this isn't a recording, this is a community. It will be a recording at some point, but you know what I mean? Right here, right now, this is a community. Oh my gosh, Tammy, you are growing your team. You are smashing your goals. I love this in the chat. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Laquita, you took off the whole month. Look at you. Teach us how to do that. Holy moly. Very cool. And then Angela took off 2 weeks. How do you do that? I love that. And then yes, your new team member. Beautiful. So great. If anyone has any like need for growing teams, we have 2 people here that did that this past year. You have people to ask questions, okay? If you're feeling like you're doing it all and you don't need to, or you need to figure out how to pay them, right? That could be a great question. How do I pay these people when I'm not even paying myself enough, right? Ask it. We have the answers. Um, okay. Any other challenges? Throw them in the chat. Or share them out loud if you want to mastermind in anything. We have time. Uh, yeah, I think cash flow is always one for me right now. I just want to do too many things and spend too much money. Yeah. And then when I have money, I will say I always give it away. I'm like, what charity? Where am I throwing this stuff? I don't want it in the account. Go. But it's a problem. I can't be a business owner like that all the time. All right. So let's go on to the next piece. What direction is forward from here? So under your bottom part, you've got that bottom quadrant. How do you move forward? Whether that's from the win or the challenge. Like what are you going to do about it? Because it's one thing to stay here and it's another route to just keep going and saying like I have this knowledge now, I have this lived experience now. Where am I going to take it? So pull one of your wins or pull in one of your challenges and let's talk about what forward means. This is going to fuel your roadmap for the next page. Like, where are we going? What are we trying to do here? Oh, Morgan, I love that. Yeah, confidence isn't a feeling. Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if anyone has a forward from here, what are you gonna do? I want to hear them. What are you gonna do about it? And then if you're ready from there, where do you need to stop and take rest? This can be really metaphorical, like really generally speaking. Like, I just need to walk away sometimes from beating myself up that somebody said no to me. I just need to take a minute and stop to rest when I'm trying to, like, I know when I get excited and I want to like throw everything into my social media planner, I'm like, sometimes I just need to walk away from it for a day or two so I don't get behind, like you have little pieces where you're just like, you need to sometimes take a break, um, and rest on the things that you're over obsessing about or that are causing too much energy to drain. You can't always be in creation mode. You can't always be in edit mode. You can't always be in like, you gotta create kind of some barriers to when you're switching subjects, right? So we're not like designed to be the ultimate multitaskers for everything in this business. Who's taking more naps? When your cat goes and lays in a cozy corner, you're welcome to take 10 minutes with them too. Or your puppy dog. It's your business. You do what you want. Hmm. All right. All right. So how are we doing, friends? Any questions? I know we move fast through these things, so thank you for keeping up. If you need to go back to any section and elaborate like you thought of another thing, please feel free to. This is your journal for your business. Probably not going to write this stuff down anywhere else. Like this is it. So put it all down. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page then. We're just going to do a quick little needs and excess analysis. This is brand new CEO Days 2025 from previous years. I loved this. We did it as a workshop, I think in 2023, and it was something that I felt like really moved the group, and so I decided to plug it into our regular programming here. We do a lot of things because we should, or we compare ourselves, or we look around and we're just kind of trying to fit a mold, right? Being an entrepreneur is exactly a creation from a blank slate kind of experience. We are always able to cut things out when they no longer serve us. And it's taking up too much of our, resources or our values are, it's taking away from the things that we really love. And I just really want us to sit in a little bit about figuring out what are we doing that really doesn't matter that we're okay to release. And you will feel this like already sense of lightning. Like if you go back to your brain dump and you can just simply cross things out after doing this exercise, you will feel it is a feeling, right? It's not a confidence building it, but it's just like an actual feeling of lifting yourself from that responsibility or that weight. And I really wanted to celebrate this kind of coming into a new year as well, because we can let go, like I said, of 2024's baggage and garbage and like, take some prebiotics and let it go. So let's go ahead and get really into it, right? Imagine really if you had the lightest level of responsibility around you, you were working the least amount that you could possibly be working. What is that number? What is that time? What are the days of the week? You are creating the influence that you want by being all of who you are and nothing more. You're not trying to strive to be someone else. And your income is just flowing in really effortlessly and easily. There was never energy spent in the wrong places. Okay. Think about places that you spend energy that I got to get this out because this is too much, or this is not me, or it doesn't fit. And then I also love that there's this prompt that's like, there's never a meeting on your schedule that takes up more space than it needs to because it shouldn't really even be happening, right? We're meeting with people that aren't qualified, or we're talking to folks who don't want to help us, and we're not willing to help them, right? Just cancel the meeting, right? Like, let's really think about this. So on your page, I want you to just put 6 bullet points or maybe just 4 or 5. What are the things that are absolutely needed to have this level of lightness and freedom and availability for your own pleasure and your own self? So what are the things that are needed? What are the needs to have this business operate and make money and make your income and impact and joy happen and nothing more? What is absolutely true that's essential? I'll give you one example that I thought about. I also own an Arbonne business. I don't really do it at all because I have too much weight around it. So like I don't take action. So I'm like, why aren't I doing anything? Well, I got some issues to work out with it. But the thing that my mentor told me the other day was like, just go back to your list of 100 people and just focus on them. And I love that because it just made me feel like, oh, I don't have to like try to make this conversation fit in everything I'm talking about. I can just go to those 100 people and ask a simple question. And that's all I need. I don't need anything more. And I love just how light that made me feel. I don't have to do all these things and overcomplicate it. Um, so just as a quick example for you, if you're feeling like blank slate on some of these things, but what could it be that just makes you do the things you have to do with nothing else? Does anyone have any questions or any really good examples of how they're going to lighten it up? Any part of this confusing? I'm asking because this is new, so we have never done this before, really, and since like that last single workshop.
Well, I think myself and at least one or two other people mentioned hiring VAs, right? Like that's a way. I always felt like I was on that fence of like, well, it doesn't really take up that much time. And do I make enough to hand it over to have the expense of it? Could I meet the minimum of the VA's hours? And
Yeah.
I rode that line for years. And
Mm,
I had this VA that had come highly recommended that was really, really persuasive. And I said, okay, fine, I'll try it. And and now all day long, I'm like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can do that. And as I'm like batting everything off my plate, I'm looking at how long my to-do list is and wondering, well, when did I used to do all of that?
yeah, right.
And so, I mean, they say that like when you make a void, it will get filled up with other things, right? And ideally that's more clients and more. And so it's just leaning into that and believing that that will happen and willing to experiment. Like my idea was, okay, if this isn't a good idea, I'll let her go and I'll go back to doing things manually,
Yep.
right? Like
Yeah.
there's no danger to it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I did that. I had a VA that I loved in 2020 and 2021, and just the amount of things that I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like it was just mind blowing that like I don't have to do it, and they do it so much better and faster when I could be taking care of all these other fires, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I love that you figure out what's needed because this also is a question of what are your biggest strengths that like the business can't run without you. And you learn to understand how you are the most value to your company and can see it now as a company. Like other people can do this and you can do that thing that you're so excited about that gets you out of bed and nothing more. And this is really the exercise that's going to position you as the CEO of CEO days versus the worker bee or versus the person who's just putting out fires and burning themselves down through their last inch of the wick. And you see a lot of people. I mean, the reason I create CEO days is because I hate the statistic that more than half of the businesses or 60% of the businesses close within 5 years because people can't get out of the mindset of worker bee. They can't get into that CEO mindset. So this is the exercise I feel like that will really help you clarify where this stands for you. And then let's just call it out on the bottom half of this is what are the excessive things, right? Like either get them out of your systems, get them out of your day, or hand them off to somebody else. Identify what tasks those are or what ideas or thoughts or like where can you automate this? Where can you plug it into a better system? Where can you just hand it off to somebody else? Writing it down will help you now, position yourself to take action on that one thing. It's not so overwhelming anymore. Be like, oh yeah, today I'm just going to knock this out or delegate this. And it becomes really clear. Um, let's go ahead and identify those, like who is doing what. I know that like in my photography business, I send way too many photos to people. And I'm like, well, they just want all these and they're going to think like a marketer like I do. They're going to need all these little angles and things and they're going to create. No, I don't need to be editing all this stuff. Nobody cares. They actually get more overwhelmed. It's excessive. Stop. So what part of the time, the day and the time that you are spending needs to stop, needs to end, needs to just get cut out. All right. Any takeaways from you all? Who is cutting one big thing out after today? Like just not going to do it. What is it? I want to know. I'm like itching to know.
Dana, I have one, and the top piece in there, I have just scores and scores and scores of videos that just exist, who knows where.
Yeah.
And so in the top, I put in organize what I have to develop a core set of workshops. Done. And publish it. On the excessive piece, and this probably won't come as a surprise to you, is I continuously create. Like I'll do those videos and they're fine. They're
Mm-hmm.
better than fine.
Yeah.
But then once they're done, they're like invisible to me and I just do it again and
Yeah.
create again and add one more little thing as if that was the most important thing in the whole world.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So is your question releasing the idea of repurposing them or actually repurposing them to save yourself time from recording?
Yes, so I'm going to put together, I've got four that I know I could do. And if I just sat down for a day, I
Mhm.
would have four publishable workshops done that I could support with live stuff. I could do anything. And that'd be enough, frankly,
Yeah.
for everything, for 80% of what I do.
Put a note in your January plan and on page 14 for that.
Yeah. Excellent.
Anyone else?
Yeah, my big realization was like, there's not that much that honestly needs to get done every day, but we overwhelm ourselves with a bunch of like silly tasks that, we just it's scrambled about. So it's like just get those key things done, and then that probably doesn't take as much time. And then the other times of the day, you can do those more admin or follow-up items. One thing that I'm doing is it's called 12-week year, and I've talked about this before, but one we watched the video all over again. One thing that resonated with me was like Michael Jordan's, I think, freshman her first year in professional basketball. He's like, I'm trying to score 32 points every game. It's like, wow, that sounds like a lot. And then his former coach was like, that's just 8 points a quarter. That's four
Mm,
baskets a
mm,
quarter.
mhm.
And then it's like, oh wow, if you really just kind of like truncate it down to that, I know it's not groundbreaking stuff, but just thinking about what do I need to do each day or week, and it's really not that much. We're just kind of overwhelmed by the like cumulative things. So just trying to be thoughtful about that.
Yeah. And there was a little tool or a book or somewhere I came across where it's like, get all of your stuff, get your most important tasks done before like 11 a.m. Just knock it out, eat the frog, do it before 11 a.m. and then be like, okay, the rest of the day, like, there, Jeff, there's where you can schedule your time for anxiety is when it's done, right? And then you can worry about whatever else comes up. I like that in the chat. We got a little thing going. But that's exactly right. Like, seriously, four baskets, like break it down. And that's what I love about this exercise is it's just, when you guys do your plan for the end of the month, it's like, what's that first next step that you can do? So now you're ready, like off to the races. You're doing it, right? You're going to do it. And then all you have to do is just finish it. So getting started is always the hardest part and just the things that anxiety we tie around it. But once it's there, it's, definitely anxiety is excessive. Beautiful, everyone. We are going to turn the page. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna show you just quickly. Mine's very overwhelming. It's a lot of pieces, but I'm a very thorough planner. So I want to explain this workshop first, and then I want us to get into it. Okay, so first of the year, everyone thinks they need this business plan. Whatever. You know how many 16, 18-page marketing plans I've sent to people over the years and they like maybe got past the first page? Come on. So you don't need to plan this like, you know, it's like me. I will plan it like a crazy person, but I want you to just think about a couple bullet points or some keywords or maybe just you can even draw a picture on this if you want. I don't care. I did that one time. I literally drew a picture each month of what I wanted to experience, and it was just like a fun little scene as like a picture book. And that was really fun. And actually was like a great exercise. So do that if you want. I don't care. There's this little box that you can plan your however you want. But I want us to look at the columns real quick. So on the left-hand side, we have our start column. And that's where we want to create a vision. So we're all in the space right now that things are new, things are fresh, and things are not reality yet. So just create a small vision of what you want to do or how you want to experience the month. And think about birthdays, think about events, think about travel plans, create a travel plan. I don't care. What about in your business that you want to experience for that month? I know like first thing in January is I just put paying off some of my credit card balance and getting debt free into the new year already because I spent a little bit too much the last couple months. Um, then your next stop or the little like place in between is your break. And Angela mentioned your treat, your fun little experience, your retreat. Maybe you have a trip and you're going to unplug. I put literally for January, there's one day and I put it in here what the date was, and I'm just going to sleep after a long workout and turn off my phone. That's it. I'm sure I'll be amazing after that day. It sounds really stupid and really easy, but I have to put it down here because I'm really looking forward to that. And then your goal, which is the kind of like the more like tactical, tangible ways that you're going to like actually hold yourself accountable for that experience. So use numbers, use qualifying characteristics such as how much or how many or when, and just get kind of like as specific as you can if possible. I say that because sometimes you're just not going to know where you're going to be at like by October or November, but you just definitely want to put a couple bullet point things in there. That makes sense. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes doing this. Get as far as you can. If you're writing in pencil, you can always go back and elaborate it. If you're just drawing, that's cool. If you're just doing bullet points, that's fine too. But I want you to get as close to reality in terms of what your intention and your vision is as possible. Does anyone have any questions before we dive into the planning your route and the stops? Yes, Angela.
Yeah. Um, Can you talk a little bit more about the difference between the start and the goal? Because I'm kind of seeing them as the same thing.
Yep. Your start is your vision. So when you get into your car and you start taking, driving to your road trip, you have this awesome excitement. Like what are the internal feelings, the excitement, the anticipation, like what is your expectation? Then the goal is the actual like tangible steps you're going to take. It's like, so I put, paying off debt and feeling really free into the new year. And then my tangible, trackable goals were, okay, well, how many marketing group people, how many branding sessions, and like, what am I willing to do for those things? Like, I just kind of want to break it down a little bit more. Like, that I have like, okay, 2 branding sessions, 3 branding sessions, print sales, and then I need to do an Arbonne party, right? Like, cool. Now I know how. So your start is like the what, and then the goal is like the how. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful.
Sorry, and then what is the stop?
Stop is your treat. It's your break.
Got it. Yes. Okay.
It's like when you run out of gas, you're like, I don't want to go to that gas station. I'm going over here because I'm not peeing in that place. Or that one
Go to the
has the best
Buc-ee's.
like cinnamon rolls. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Nice.
going there. And I dated it. So like what is it that you're gonna do and what date? So is it a trip? Are you gonna take some time off? Like make it a reality by putting a date or the third Wednesday, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna treat myself to this kind of day or buy something special for myself. It has to be your resting, like something that's gonna revive you. All right, let's get to it, everyone. Right. Plan those stops, plan those goals. Like, don't worry too much about the goals. I would rather you say, what do you want out of the year and what's your rest point? The goals, if that's something you could skip for a little bit, like, don't get caught up in it. Just feel into what you want to experience. And to Tammy's point, if at all you feel like this route, this little road trip we're on, we're going somewhere, we're either going west, we're going north, we're going south, way south. I don't care if it's in a car or a plane or a little boat or in a scooter. What does it feel like, right? What is the power word that you may want to derive from it? What are you trying to experience out of this? If something comes up, right? I know that's not what workshop we're doing, but if it does, that's kind of fun. I'm going on a trip to experience what? So the trip in the whole year is to teach you what, is to give you what, is to provide for your life in what way? I haven't figured mine out yet. Until 1 year of content is good. Oh, why are you okay? I love this, Sherry. Why are you getting the treat before you get to the goal? Because it has to entice you. If you're not looking forward to something, why is the goal even good? This is actually something my husband and I talked about yesterday. We went on a date and I was like, sometimes we think we need to go after things or have this amount of money, or like we were talking about just random stuff. I finally had some time to breathe. And I'm like, how often do you celebrate or even look forward to what you're celebrating? You just think that you have to go, 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 get that, accomplish this, do that. And you forget about what it means. And you forget about like how valuable these experiences or work equals to actually fulfill your life, right? It's one thing that these people have, like we were in like the Naperville area, and it's just these houses are sometimes it's just stupid, like how big these houses are. I'm like, who did that person have to become, right? And some people awesome, like they figured out the code of life and they make billions of dollars and are like super present and feel have a joy-filled life. Good for them. But other times you have to think that stop in the middle is the why. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you working hard? Why do you even have a business? What is it? How is owning a business improving your life? Because if it's not, then just go get a job, like I hate to say it, but like go trade hours for dollars in a way. Like we own businesses because we get to create, like I said, it's a blank slate. We get to create, okay, we can also make income, but we're also bettering our life and having experiences that mean something so valuable to who we are that we can't find anywhere else. That's why we had to make it ourselves, you know? So I think that, Sherry, I love that question. It's like, why are we trying to imagine the treat before we get to the goal? Because it's where our direction is pointed, right? Some people don't want to work just for the sake of working, you know? So I love that. That's a great question. And thank you for bringing that up because I feel like that was probably really important for me to include. I was overlooking it myself. So thank you. I hope that doesn't change anything for anyone, but it may be helping you improve that section a little bit. And I want us all to take a stand up, like a body break, bio break before we get into like nobody needs to sit on their buns for like this amount of time. So stretch, take some deep breaths, close your eyes. After we wrap this up, put a pause in it. If you didn't finish this, it's okay. This is kind of some deeper work, but at least you get an idea of like, okay, cool. Like I have a place to plot this now that like tomorrow or next week or next even month, if you will, you want to plug it in somewhere because nobody's going to be doing like their year goal, you know, and just like have a million pieces of paper on it. Maybe you do, but like hopefully you just keep it on this piece of paper and you can continue to add to it, enrich it, edit it, change it up if you will, like bring some more detail to life in it. But this is for you to have in your arsenal right now on your desk. So you're able to then go back and use this and remind yourself where you're going this year and why you're working so hard and what are we trying to accomplish? Does anyone have any questions or takeaways from this before we get into our work sprint? Was this good? Did you like it? Was it too much?
I think it was too much for like the whole year, but otherwise, like I did the first quarter and like a little bit of April, so I just dog-eared the page to like come back to this.
Okay,
But I
so
think
in
it's
your
like a really
professional
great
opinion,
idea and conceptually of
all
like,
we need
hey,
to do
here's
is
kind of
fill
what we're
out
gonna do,
step
and
one,
chunk it out.
and then
That's kind of my plan.
Yes.
But yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I was doing this and I'm like, this is taking me a long time, but it is not for you to have to do an all-in-one sitting. And that's why I told you that when we first started. So I love that. That's good. Anyone else? Anyone's excited? A little nervous? Any emotions around this?
It was fun to also put some personal things that are happening throughout the year, not just work, to show like, I think it was my first time here. I don't know a lot of you, but I run a lifestyle business. I choose to do this because I'm trying to have a certain lifestyle. It's not just all the money I can make as fast as I can make it and kill myself.
Yep.
And so, we're taking our family to Europe this summer and I'm doing a road trip with my daughter, and having those things interspersed with the work accomplishments just helps reinforce the idea of I'm creating a life and not just this is a business map.
That's absolutely, I couldn't explain it better. Thank you. Angela, were you saying something but realized you were muted? Because I saw you like,
Yeah.
wait. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Morgan was saying. And I love, Tammy, what you just shared. That's like so resonates too. But yeah, like it felt really clear for the first like 3 months of kind of where I want to go. But then after that, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, we'll see where we are. But I did do like, I don't know, this is like some nerd shit, but like my cousin and I do like tarot readings and stuff or like oracle cards for the year. So I kind of leaned on that for like, okay, what's the word for that month that could kind of be the inspiration? And then we'll check back in and see if that resonates again when the time comes. So I don't know if that's helpful to anyone. But
Fantastic. I know you like that word of the month, a theme of the month, a value,
hmm
something.
yeah.
And again, this is not to keep it set in stone. It's just like get excited. And we spend this time now, but like maybe we don't have time to finish it all up, but like make some time and just be like, okay, I'm going into a new quarter. Like let's just refresh, check in with where we are. And maybe we'll do that. Maybe like throughout CEO days, we'll go back to this and be like, okay, take a quick peek at this. Where are we at? Okay. Anything else you want to add, throw in the chat. Like if this is still brewing for you and you need a few more minutes, totally fine. But this is where CEO Days is different than any other workshop. we're going to leave and exit our workbook for a few minutes and actually do some damage on the awesome task list that we've made for ourselves. Let's go get it. Let's go knock something out of our brain dump and actually go do it. Think back to what you wrote down in terms of your category, or as Tammy put it, your buckets of what was on your brain dump. Like, because usually those things are kind of like the most pressing, typically, like that state, like either that stood out to you and you had to write it down, or you're just like the most, um, feeling in pain because this isn't resolved. So think about if you can leave today's meeting having accomplished that thing and getting it off of your chest, let's do it. So for those of you who already know what you're working on, throw that in the chat. If you're still unclear of what this means, this is a work sprint to work on your business, to actually get things done that you need to improve your systems, your automation, like something that you can do today that's going to actually change the course of your business for the rest of the quarter or the rest of the year. Don't do things that you can do any old time. Like when you're off on your own, you can totally take care of that easily. Do the hard stuff that you need this space for. Okay. In this handy new workbook too, we also have a little bit more of like a clear way to create it. So put your intention for this work sprint and then maybe a to-do list that helps you just jot down what you feel like you need to work on. And then any notes that come up as you're working, maybe some like learning pieces or, just pieces that you're picking up and learning, or just, you want to elaborate, or just you want to draw, I don't care, whatever it is to help your brain achieve that goal. Do we have any questions before we plug into our work sprint here? Put in the chat what you're doing so I know. Revising your business plan. Does that mean like your like budget plan, or just your overall like big business plan? I'm sure it'll be clear. Um, Celebrating the steps. Sorry, I'm just kind of peeking at this. Time blocking, good. Yeah, I'm also using it for calendaring too. Yeah, overall business plan, great. Um, all right. Perfect, everyone. So we're going to do 40 minutes. Let's get to it. Okay. We are cruising, my dear friends. If you can all come back to the space, we are going to get on to the next part of our program here. Come on, come on. Alrighty. So, my friends, we are just cruising. How did the work sprint go? Did we do what we said we were going to do? At least make a mark? What was it like? Tammy, this was your first time. Did you
Yeah,
get
well, fortunately I was already working on this project earlier today.
okay.
So I was like, yay, I can get back to it. Of course I responded to emails and did some other things too. Um, but I do feel like, oh, I'm going to finish this project by the end of the week, which was really my goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it feeds back to like part of why I can do that is because my VA is getting other stuff done, and now I can work on these bigger projects that were often things I had to do on the weekend because I'd run out of time during the week.
Yeah.
So, so I like that you gave us some planning time, but then you also gave us the space to get some work done.
Yeah, it's a freeing feeling. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and turn to our page 14, please. We're going to create our January action plan. Action plans are there for us to literally compartmentalize and break down the actions we need to take. I don't like plans that just shoot in the dark. Right? I want to know how I'm going to be breaking things down, when I'm expected to do things, by which due date. And then I want to know who else I can ask for help. So in the notes section, if there's any other resources or somebody that you met today during the session that you want to reach out to follow up and saying, you know what, you can actually be the saving grace to this challenge or problem that I really need fixed or addressed by the end of the month. We're going to only do January's action plan, so don't really think about stuff that needs to be happening in February, March, April. Let's really focus in the next 30 days, what is absolutely essential for me to tackle. In your goals, I want you to be as specific as possible. So write a goal down that has legs, right? Tell me about the numbers, the type of people. Don't just put, I want to make more money. Say, I need to, have in my bank account, be after all my expenses are paid, X amount of money, by this date. So the more specific you are, it actually will help you, um, get more tangible results, because you can go after making more money, but maybe you were a few dollars shy. You can still celebrate that you were 80 or 90% there towards your goal versus saying, I didn't make more money, I guess I'm a failure. No, the more specific you can be, the more you can celebrate how close you got to that goal. Does that make sense? Um, Due dates are very important, so then you can go back into your calendar. Angela spent the time calendaring during her work sprint, so using this plan now to go back and plug into your calendar when things are due, so you have another checkpoint to just nudge yourself. Hey, you said you were going to do this by then. Are we getting close? Do we need a couple extra days? How is it working out for you? And so on and so forth. And then in somewhere between, maybe you write a line down the middle, but we have a members only work sprint coming up on Wednesday, the 9th. Is it the 19th? No, that's next week. Sorry, I am like always so bad at like looking at multiple screens at once. So Wednesday, the 22nd, for members to come and work for an hour to just review this plan and go back and just kind of get a little bit more work done. So we do that power hour like we just did. We get to meet together and have that accountability call. So on Wednesday, the 22nd.
What
Okay.
time is that?
We're meeting from, why do I not have it in this calendar? Sorry. It's from 11 to 12. So it's after our Women Belong meeting. Let's see. Yeah. So if you can plug that in, I'm going to be sending out lots of email reminders too for all of our members on that. Okay. And so after you take a minute on that, get as thorough as you possibly can. We are going to celebrate our meeting today. So give yourself some time, make sure that the plan is really, really in front of you, okay? And that you have a space for it. This book or your worksheet, if you want to make sure like those who have printed the workbook today, make sure it's on your desk. Make sure it's like when you open a drawer, it's right there. It needs to be in front of your face, under your nose while you're working, because you will forget all of these things. And the momentum that you built today and the time you spent today, there's a big chance that it might go, swallowed up into your day to day. So if you don't have this in a very easily visible place, if you even want to take a picture of it, put on your phone background, I don't care, whatever works for you. But this is a great way to then you constantly have that reminder of what you felt like today, of the feeling of accomplishment, and then going back and saying, you know what, all of these goals are built with intention and they're built from a place of a clarity and focus that I had during this work time today. The more you keep that in front of you, the better you're going to give yourself as chances to make sure that these goals get realized. Does anyone have any like specific goals that they want to share out in hopes that maybe other people might be able to support them with it? Um, so like something that you may be curious about, like, oh, if I share this, maybe somebody has a resource or a contact. Like, do you want to meet a specific client or a specific person? Like, we're all here with many, many, many connections and people who can help you. So share it out loud. Let's get in this space of goal swapping. Awesome, Jeff. Glad you're here too. I know each of you will be getting an invitation to connect with me because I want to know specifically more about what you are writing on your goals. So I'm going to I'll be in your inbox. Just expect it, okay? Um, all right, we're finishing up, writing through. Make sure you have your due dates. Anything you want to share? How does that pen taste, Angela? Is it a berry flavor? Like my kids constantly have stuff in their mouth and I'm like, does that even taste good? It just feel good. It's funny though. Um, perfect. Getting those goals done, getting them in your calendar. You got a couple more minutes. And when you're ready, I want you to celebrate. So this is again a new piece of gratitude and celebration. So when you're done with your goals, go ahead and flip to page 15. Um, get really, really specific on what you did today. This is going to help circle back your intention that you set and really understand how you work and what was a priority to you. And just to sum it up, I did this exercise when I filled out mine, and I didn't really even realize how powerful it was to just kind of go back and see, like, what just happened to me just now. And it was a really awesome feeling. So, for me, I will just share CEO days today gave me the space to see the year in a very peaceful, exciting, and a way for me to relax more. It was a space for me to imagine my income increasing while breaking down the steps. It's exactly how it's going to look without the guesswork. And then it also helped me focus on what I want, but then also what's needed on how to get it. And I was like, wow, like you didn't realize that's what would come of it, but it really helped. And I was really glad that that happened to me. So what about you? Go ahead and take a few minutes to figure out, what did CEO days give you the space to experience today? Right. So what did CEO days give you the space to do today? Go ahead and unmute.
I tackled a project that I've probably been putting off for 2 years. Updating my CRM kind of household category segmentation and then applying workflows and meeting cadence reminders and stuff like that. So I'm not done yet, but I'm very close. So yeah, pretty sad how long this has been in the making, but glad it's done.
No. Whoa. Okay, that's amazing. Just think of how much better you can sleep at night now, like getting that out of your brain space. I absolutely love it, Morgan. That's beautiful. All right. What did CEO days give you the space to do today? Anyone else? You're unmuted already. Might as well share.
It helped me outline some goals for the year and just like get a better grip of what I need to get done on a daily basis.
It's so easy to just roll into whatever the emails are telling us to do, right? Love that.
Well, for me, it helped me to, oh, guys, I thought someone was talking. Okay. Um, I had a hard time trying to combine. I had set my year off separating personal and business. So I spent this time to combine the personal and business goals. And like Morgan, so I want to say Morgan because I just said I want to do the 12-week year. So I was like, okay, in these next 11 weeks, what can I get done? So now I'm figuring out what I got, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna join tonight's session to implement it in my ClickUp or something like that. So that's how we gonna do it going. So that's my goal for the next one too.
Wait, I get to see you again tonight? What?
Yes.
So excited. This is definitely a space available, yeah, to anyone who wants to like continue to work through these things and come back for the work sprint. Absolutely. I am here for you. So I absolutely love that. Beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, it's combining the personal and business. It has to be like the more I did the work, I'm like, it's all one experience. And like they're not like as much as we try to separate it, it has to be thought out as if they coincide together. So I love that. You can definitely keep boundaries in between your business and your personal. I love the boundaries, but making it kind of part of the big picture is definitely how it's going to work, right? Amazing.
I had a project that for weeks I have been putting off and putting off and putting off, and I got it done. So this, and it goes back to, again, one of the things that I'm working on this year is definitely getting everything in my calendar. And it has to be both personal and business because, as you had mentioned earlier, um, you know, we don't work just to work. We work to support the lives that we want to have. And those lives include, your personal time. So, and one of the things for me is every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, I pick my granddaughter up from school. And so I have to have that built in so that nobody can call me. Nothing is on the calendar. That time is for us.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't have that in there, then you run the risk that you're going to have somebody trying to schedule a call with you. And we don't all want to say, really sorry, but I'm not available then. So it's best to get that all calendared out. But the big thing was finally, and that was one of the things I kept thinking about is we're going to have that time. You're going to do that project because you're sitting there, you're going to do that project. And I did it. So
Hey, amazing. Oh, such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. Hmm.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for creating this space and inviting me to check it out. I was already doing some of this organizing of the year and projects in the last couple of days, so I felt like it was really good timing to just solidify it a little bit more and to give that space. But I definitely feel like I got some clarity on what the vision of the year is um, from doing this exercise. And I know where, like a lot of us said, I can't plan beyond first quarter. I have some things that are potentially shifting and moving. And I realize like, oh, there's 4-month blocks. I can't plan until I know what's going to happen here because that will influence everything else and different projects that may or may not go. And if they do go, they have to hit certain marks. But just even nice to know what are the factors that will influence the planning decision. And even if I can have them figured out by February 1st would be great.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of talk in my feed from some of the woo-woo people, which I consider myself one of, about how winter is really a time of rest and reflection, and that really our new year should be April with spring and renewal. And
Yeah.
so I'm easing into that thought of, January is our random start of the year, but
Yeah.
does it actually make sense with the cycle of how we run our lives?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe January through March is really the planning for the April to April sprint, And so it's a different mindset that I've been wondering if that's not worth considering.
Mm. It's definitely something I consider. So in the start of the workbook, I have all quarters. So plan, profit, pleasure, and passion. And each quarter is how I derive what we're talking about and what we're doing. And planning is still that like inward reflection. And yet I'm also somebody who knows that once you have a plan and once you kind of start figuring things out, it doesn't mean you can't take action, right? We're never stagnant. We're always moving. Even if we're moving slower, we're still moving and we're still going in some direction. So I do agree that definitely by Q2 is when we can really start to drive in like, okay, what are we looking at? What are we seeing? How are we hitting the ground running with a little bit more force? But definitely planning it takes time. And how can you encapsulate the entire year that just happened in what, like 2 days after Christmas, and then be like, okay, then I'm ready to go January 1st. Like, no, like this takes a lot of moments to sit in and to really reflect and to assess and then to decide, right? Making a decision as like, where are we going to go and how can we decide that this is best for us? So sitting in with that planning phase is definitely helpful. Thank you all so, so much. I am so excited that you all are here with us today. And if you, like I mentioned, come back tonight if you feel like you need any other little piece. This is an open forum. Our next event is coming up on February 6th. It's also a Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then the work sprint is happening on January 22nd for members from 11 to noon. So come on in and work with us and let's get some more done. I definitely would love and be so grateful if you shared this event with somebody. If you feel all the feels, go ahead and post it immediately after this event today on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. I could really use the visibility for some more folks to come on in. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So if you need some more from me, please ask. And our mission here is to really keep small business owners in business and become the CEO that they want to become each 30 days at a time. All right, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful evening and afternoon, and I will see you all soon. Bye.